Big Matt Podcast channel. And of course, we've got a big story for you. Everybody knows about what has happened with former President Trump. Um, there's a lot of stuff that we could talk about, and I didn't set up my camera, my mic stuff. I just propped the old phone up here and just want to talk to my audience. Now, based on this channel and what I do and kind of the undertones of the channel is always biblical. So before we get into some facts of the matter and those type of things, I'll just say first that God's hand has to be involved in this deal with Trump. It just does. I mean, there's just no way that guys. We're talking about an inch. This guy gets the top of his ear shot off. It's just by the grace of God that he's still alive. God's got to have some kind of plan for him and what he has for our country. And we all know that there's definitely a judgment that's going to come for our country and the lawlessness and just the facts of matter of how we live as a nation. We're very ungodly, we're a very unholy country, and we're at a place in our country where, you know, we need God in a desperate way. So, with that out of the way, I also need to say that, during this shooting and Trump being shot at and all, and hit, it's an attempted assassination, okay? They're trying to kill him. First, I'll say I'm not surprised. I was working actually when this happened, and somebody texted me as I was leaving the store that I was at, and I just was not really surprised by this. Shocked that it would go this far, and this is what would happen, and this is what it's kind of come to. It's just unfortunate that we live in a fallen creation, and the world is just full of sinners, and it's full of just mean people, and that's just how it is. That really is just the facts of the matter. Um, you know, Also the fact that there's you just wouldn't think, I mean, to be a big-hearted person and to have genuine care about somebody, you kind of wouldn't think that somebody would just intentionally want to kill somebody, and not only that, but kind of just make it easy for somebody to kill somebody. Well, here's something that some of you may not know about if you don't keep up with politics and those type of stuff. That there's a red tie event that back some time ago. We was talking about the Trump shooting, guys. Thank you for coming by and hanging out with me. If you haven't subscribed all to the channel, I'd appreciate it if you would. If you don't know much about what I do, just basically hot topic news stuff, but it has a biblical base to it. So just wanted to kind of get this on my chest and say this to my audience because the audience has really grown a lot here lately. Um, there's just not an official way to say for sure that this was kind of allowed, I guess, at some a little bit. The details of the matter are the red tie event had to do with the government officials and saying that, the CIA people, the Secret Service that our government puts out there for Trump, they work for the government, which is run by Joe Biden. Those are people were told that they couldn't wear a red tie because it would seem like they were siding with Trump, maybe. That's a real thing. You can Google it right now. You're watching me on the phone, you can hit your home button, you go there to Google and type in the red tie event. And it's going to bring up some stuff about what's happened yesterday. But that's real. And next part of this, I'll say the person that's in charge of setting up this perimeter, and I'm not a military, all knower or anything, but, I grew up around that kind of stuff and being in the part of the country that I live in, I've shot guns. since I was 7, 8 years old. Long guns, not as many pistols, but rifles and shotguns because we hunt, and that's just kind of what we do around here in this area. So for the person that set this detail up and to have a perimeter and what they're going to go set up and check the areas to make sure that somebody couldn't take a pop shot at ex-President Trump, they're I don't see, and this is a lot of people said this. The guy come on Fox, Bragg's guy, he just goes scorched earth and just goes nuts and just calls everybody out and says, I work with you guys and I know a lot of you personally, and I can't believe that you let this happen. You can say, what you want to, but was it a success? Well, I guess it's successful that Trump didn't lose his life, but there's a man that did lose his life, and all life is important because we're all children of God. And somebody lost his life there today, so it was a fail. You say, well, it wasn't a fail because Trump didn't lose, but somebody did die, man. Somebody died today on the watch of the government, of this Secret Service protection people. There's no way. There's no way I can believe. I'm not a CIA guy or some person that can go set up Secret Service events, and I, could be a long sniper shooter. I could do some training with that, and I think I would do good at it. I think I'm a good shot. 200 or 300 yard shots are not a big deal, for most people in the country areas for us to shoot. It's just kind of how we do. But how does an area, a building 150 yards away, how is it not in the vision of the person setting this up? I don't know how that's how is it not in the vision that somebody sets up a security detail? Okay, and to my next point here, and we'll just be a few more minutes. I ain't gonna be long. People that had been to other Trump rallies when he was president interviewed with a camera, a news guy, and he spoke up. Him and his daughter had went to one somewhere around that area close by a few years ago when he was president. And this time he said, I looked around. There's not really any detail. There's not a lot of officers there. He said the one we went to before, there was like 2 or 3 CIA special Secret Service guys like on every rooftop all around the area because it was around some kind of area where they had planes and hangars, and there was CIA Secret Service everywhere. And at this one, there was not. There's just these 2 guys up on this one roof. And so that's another point. And this goes to the next one. How, if you see, there's videos out there, and there's going to be a lot of more stuff come out. And I had to do something to come on here and say something about this. It's just too big of a topic. And I may not get but 100 views, but that's okay. At least you 100 people will know some truth about this, because that's what I do. I want to come on here and share some truth. And the only real truth is the Word of God, okay, and His written Word. But I can notice things, and I pay attention, and I'm not crazy. And I may be a little country, but I'm not dumb. Watch this video, and it's the one that the camera's facing Trump, and then over his right shoulder to your left up in the side, you can see the 2 guys on the roof. One's prone, one's up on his knee, and they both have tripods, and they're already looking that way. Well, when you hear the crack, and you see Trump grab his ear on the next shot there, this is me now just saying this, what I noticed, and being a shooter, and I've shot off tripods, and I've shot a lot of different animals from, deer or rabbits or squirrels, and I've shot a lot of moving stuff too. But to be it looked to me that this sniper, CIA scope guy, he was set up with the way his gun was angled. And when you heard that shot, because they were already hearing, he's got a gun. So they had turned their attention that way. And it all happened so fast. That's why the guy didn't hit Trump with a shot, because he was rushed. The guy was rushed in his shooting, and he obviously was a young guy, and he could be 20 and be a good shot, But to make that 150-yard shot for somebody that's a good shooter, that's not a hard shot to make. It's not. That would be a very easy for a young person around here in this area to make a shot, that far away. We sight rifles in, at 150 yards. So, but when he turns, now I noticed this, listen, when Trump grabs his ear to get shot, I noticed that the guy with the tripod, you think he shot the gun or he flinched. He didn't flinch. He's holding the front of that tripod. He moves it. He pulls the tripod in. I know what he's doing. He's pulling that tripod in so he can tilt the gun down. So this is what I'm saying. They were unaware. They knew that building was there. It's a 150-yard shot. It seems like it would be logical to be the first place you look. Those guys on these teams, and they had local guys over there too, and I got something breaking news on that. Local guys on the scene there, what happened there. But the CIA sniper guys, they were looking 300 yards because I know this, that CIA ops guys and sniper guys, Secret Service, they have to qualify at between 800 to 1,000 yards. That's just in their preliminaries. That's what they have to do. To be a sniper, you have to qualify between 800 and 1,000 yards. This guy shot from 150 yards, 148 exactly. They were looking way back over on the buildings because from the top view, the guy wasn't on the very front building. He was kind of on the second one there, this ag building. There's a bigger building behind him. One. Two, once they turn that way and they're hollering, he's got a gun, they're starting to get word from down there from the locals, and the people are telling these local cops that. A local cop goes up on the ladder, confronts the guy, comes up on the ladder, and the guy's, Matthew Thomas, whatever his name was, turns around with a rifle, and he's about to have an altercation with a county officer there. The officer backs off and leaves the scene, and the guy turns over, and he knows the gig is up. So word is going on. There's a shooter. He's got a gun. The guy with the red Trump hat said, "Yeah, I seen him crawling army style up there." And some guys were looking at, "What are you talking about?" You couldn't see him because of the pitch of that roof. These ag buildings are like this. They're not a real pitch roof like a house. This is an ag building. It probably holds seed. It's probably got feed in it or something. It's nearly a flat top style roof. So if you're standing anywhere, you'd have to be 50 yards back off the building to have a good angle to even see it. And the way the pitch of that roof was, it's coming down at the top. He's got a gun. CIA gun snipers turn towards the building. Okay, when you see this scene, and you can find it, this stuff will be out there everywhere. He turns the gun towards the building. The two guys do this up above Trump over here. He had to move when he's looking that way, but he probably couldn't see him. I'm telling you, I've shot too many guns, and from trees, from the ground, from in the bushes, from all kind of different situations. The way that angle was, even with him being at eye level, that's the way it was. He couldn't make a good line sight. He couldn't see the guy good. And then the cop comes up on the roof, and then he backs off. He knows, oh crap, I'm going to get busted. He turns around and he starts shooting. And by the time he gets off that shot, when he hears it, the CIA sniper hears that. He then moves his gun. You can see him move that tripod back and see the rifle, his gun, move down because he's aiming way over too far in the back. They're scalping 200-300 yards. He's not scalping this 150-yard spot. Those are some facts of the matter, okay? Now last, and we'll get off. It's very unfortunate that they have asked, Trump's people have asked and asked for more detail and more help in this stuff that's going on. He's asked and he's asked several times. And I ain't trying to pick on nobody. And like I said, I'm not some gun expert. But if those few that was up there around him that laid on the package, what they're going to call him, they're going to call it the package, and they're trying to cover him, keep him from getting shot. A few of those guys look like they knew what they're doing, and a few of them did not. And you know the ones I'm talking about. This girl couldn't even holster her weapon. How, if you're, guys, we're not talking about some local city guys here. There are some young guys that are learning, and I get it, and I understand all that. You are protecting a package that is the ex-president of the United States of America. Even if to protect Joe Biden, it's important. You have a crazy important job. And these people that was around him, it just didn't seem, they just didn't seem trained very well to be at that level. To some people that just see things as normal or whatever, however you see it, that's fine. Not every eye is trained to see everything with guns. Okay, but I'm telling you, those little things like that, pay attention to those details. He's asked for more help, and they didn't want to give him any more security people to be around him anymore. Okay, and that's unfortunate. So anyway, that's kind of the news of the day. I had to say something about it, and more of this is going to come out. I may come back on one day this week and talk some more about it as we find out more details. So thank you for coming by the big story, and I very much do appreciate it. Okay.